1, 2, 3. Kunal, you give us a go when you're good. All right, and welcome everybody here at Kollage Kollectiv to the 36th TouchDesigner Roundtable Berlin. It is a very special pleasure to be here. I was really happy when Pauline and Max invited us, and I was seeing this place. I also came to join a party, and I must say I'm kind of blown away by the love and creativity that's happening in this place, and it was like one of my best clubbing experiences in Berlin, I have to honestly say. Forget Berghain, come to Kollage Kollectiv. And yeah, applause. And so next to me is Pauline Kess. She is one of the founders of Kollage Kollectiv. Is going to tell us a bit more about that, but she's also doing wonderful visuals. She's dancing, she's mixing all art forms together. I can't wait to hear more. So, thank you for coming, Pauline.
Thank you, Stefan, for the introduction, and all the Node Institute for organizing this event. We are very happy to be hosting you here in our spaceship. And so tonight I will speak about the collective first and its place, and then a little bit more about my work. So yeah, it's quite emblematic for us to have you here this year, because it's our last year in this space. Gentrification is hitting us, so we are looking for a new place with our 12 containers and all our crew. So if you know about something, please let us know. Yeah, so here we've had to be very productive as there's no running water or electricity. You can hear the generator behind. So we've been relying on a solar panel, on bringing water ourselves, and all this has made the construction process a bit more challenging. But yeah, it was nonetheless really important for us to create a platform for people to connect and create while keeping a DIY vision. So yeah, when we first got here, there was one container and it was quite empty, and our friends were organizing music events, and we felt that we wanted to decorate a bit more the place and bringing more visuals. So that's what brought me to learning TouchDesigner. As when we started by going around the city in Berlin, cycling and collecting trash and material, and we found lots of TVs and cables and media players, DVD players, and we started to connect them and realized that some of this trash was still functional, and we didn't even have to repair it. So so early on in our art process, we wanted to create TV installations, and quickly our way of working was going against the philosophy of capitalism, where now it's easier to when something is dysfunctional, to just throw it away and get a new one instead of reusing it. So we were quite lucky, as in Berlin people throw away amazing stuff. So that was quite good for us. And yeah, so very early on we grew a strong interest in the physicality of things and in hardware. We got very curious on how machines were working. We looked at them differently, opening them up. We really wanted to understand what they were made of, what they sound like, what their components, and they slowly turned into things, and we really valued each components we could find. And yeah, and with this we realized that all the objects were not really independent, but they were connected to each other, and we could change pieces and yeah, and reconnect them. And that saying, we realized that the machines and the instrument we were looking at were not just not independent, but also part of a bigger economic model. And by repairing, we were going against this system. So yeah, repairing is challenging. was challenging this. So just like making a parallel with TouchDesigner, just like when we connect nodes together, here we were just connecting material and and things together, and just like when we reuse someone's concept and tweak it and making it available for the people, here we were also reusing material and as well losing a sense of belonging and ownership, but we would just feel like we connect stuff, and that's what we do. So to do this, of course, we had to learn a few skills we didn't have, electricity or coding, well, basics, soldering and construction. And for this, we had to ask advice to the people around us, and that's how the desire to connect to machines make us connect to people, and that has been a great experience. And so connecting to people and reclaiming the objects around us was also strongly based on believing in sharing knowledge and using open source material we could find. So we watched a lot of tutorials, we asked a lot of help around us, and really valued people's experience to help us build what we wanted to do. And this was really an empowering experience, individually but also collectively. As I feel now, it's quite easy to delegate knowledge to strong, intelligent, powerful software, and this challenges our curiosity, and we want to keep on being curious. We want to keep on playing with things, and we want to keep on being physical with material and maintaining a relation to what's around us, the material and the people. So keeping this desire to play and to connect with people, we really value the joy of making things instead of quickly reaching efficiently an outcome. We believe that we want to stay active and not just passive consumers of art or whatever you can buy. And that's also in this philosophy that we created our machines, and that we bring them into our events, because we want people to be active and to take part and get involved, of course, if they want. So to connect to create interactive machines, we also had to learn some coding techniques and TouchDesigner, also as well Arduino, and one of our first machine, which is there, the arcade, was made. So it's rolling on an electric wheelchair, and then it's an old shoe polisher, and the faders are taken from an old organ, and that was our first machine. And so the way we build them, I mean, in order to create all the visual combination, I first started with the controller. So in this case, the fader from an old organ, and then and then looking at the controller, then I would start to create a visual or audiovisual world. So in other machine, like here you can see the wave generator, we used an old amp with an Arduino inside, and then I would attribute each potentiometer, fader or whatever to a component of the visuals, a parameter, like the color or the shape or the noise or the amplitude or whatever. So each of the machine we made were relying on a visual world specifically for this machines. On some others we've used gyroscopes or Kinects, but keeping it's an old, this one goes with the gyroscope, keeping a look of recycling, of course. So after after all these machines, we kind of wanted more, and we wanted to connect with them even more. So that's where we started building our spaceship, where we are sitting now, and yes, so this is at Fusion last year, and so we wanted to act with our machines and be with them. So that's where we started to create some shows and characters with DIY costumes as well, made of tents, and yeah, that was just a perfect place for us to showcase our machines and also to connect with amazing performers, musicians, light designer, and so on. So yeah, we've been able to, well, the spaceship took us to Fusion and Attention Festival and more, and now we're working on optimizing it even more to take the spaceship further. Suspense. This year, no, we're not at Fusion, unfortunately. So yeah, this is the beginning of the show last year at Fusion, and yeah, it's kind of in this environment that my practice of TouchDesigner has evolved. Instead of focusing on making machines and visual environment specific for the machines, I kind of wanted to work more with live. So I've been working together with musicians, and also I've been wanting to integrate my dance practice into shows. So I will get the show now. But so yeah, for example, this is one of our visual world, I would say, that I have created with a friend who's a florist, and I've always wanted to link abstract visuals with real footage. So in this sequence, when we worked together, I focused on using footage that I filmed from lots of plants in India, and yeah, and this is a little preview of our show, but I will show you a bit more in depth an example of my work. So yeah, initially I wanted to, because I'm also dancing, I wanted to show dance project that I've been working on, but my Kinect stopped working today, so I will show something else. But I still wanted to explain that at the moment I'm interested in exploring identities and how the body, so using TouchDesigner, Kinect or cameras, how the body can really, the contemporary body is not only physical, but is really becoming or transitioning from identities and going from virtual to physical, from self-constructed to something more authentic. And yeah, I've been exploring this with projection mapping, like here, for example, and it's very interesting to see how a projection and is creating a real framework where we can realize how digital technologies can reimagine realities, and in this sense the body inside here can show this transition of identities from presence to representation. So yeah, that's my work on the moment, which I cannot really show, but that's what I'm on about. And yeah, so as I'm working live with some with Max, also part of the collective, together we have a duo, and look, voilà, together we have a duo, and so now he's not playing live, but I usually use music as an input, as he's using a Digitact I can play with whatever he sends me, really. And then, yeah, this is a little mess here I created. But so I would say start with the sounds, which then trigger some kind of abstract components. So in this case, I'm only running this world, I would say, which you can see in the background, and then I can play with the camera manually, or I can make the camera audio reactive. But now I'm not connecting to Max, so it's not really working. But you get the idea. So each time there's a beat, for example, the camera would change position. And when I want to go from a visual to another, for example, that one, I can just change the background and always have something different on top. So here I'm using a scan. It's actually a real scan. We have this little mini scanner that we can transport everywhere and scan the city. And same, I can decide that I want to change the scans manually, or in this case, audio reactively. And yeah, so first in this project we played last month in Spain and Italy. I usually have the abstract visuals in the background, and then in the foreground the real footage, and here the scanners, which I can then change the mask. Wait, is the music looping or not? Yeah. And I can then change the mask and then add on all the collection of effects of the favorite ones I have on my menu. So, for example, adding more audio reactiveness of real footage. I mean, still image. And and once again, just like I map all the machines we made, I've mapped all my controllers and can just decide of anything I want. For example, I could just displace this one there. I can I can add some more reactiveness of here at the back. So this is usually the little square you see on the left. They usually react to a program change in a digitact and are really on the beat. So now it looks okay with the audio input, but I'm not sure how well synced it is. And and then on top of that I can have all kind of blah blah I want to say, and because I like to play with words as well. And in the end, all the color correction work. But going, for example, in the footage comp, we can see very well organized. We can see, so on the left, so here changing on the mid, it's changing the footage of the scans automatically, audio reactively, which I can stop if I don't want. And then changing the mask, changing the I'll show it here. Changing the mask, changing the displacement. I can just play with all kind of stuff. And then I also have the bigger displacement that will then distort the whole composition, and it starts to get a little crazy already. So I mean, that's it. That's it. Thank you.
That was already quite a bit, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to choose what to say.
Yeah. It seems like you have a very dense life filled with different projects. What I like about the visuals is that there's all this crazy diversity in the thing, but through these simple masks, it still always has this kind of touch of Bauhaus in it. It reminds me a bit of like stuff we did back in the day with analog mixers, where you had a circle wipe, and you had a square wipe, and maybe you could have two squares if it was a good mixer. But you had to work with these kind of very simple things, and I'm still in love with these, the circular wipe in the middle, and also how the textures, the real textures, kind of, and the cold 3D, they kind of get together and they complement each other really well. I don't know if it's a good question, but of course, to me, this feels like, when I see what you do here, is like a very free life, very maybe also detached from a lot of the economic struggles lots of us find ourselves in or think we have to do. How do you manage to keep this independence? I mean, I'm not asking to disclose the financial model or something, but I'm just
of the
wondering,
collective or personally?
Of the collective, yeah.
Of the collective.
Is this like a full-time thing that you can do, or do you have to compromise, do money jobs, or how can you?
Yeah, I mean, I spend most of my time here and working on a free basis, like not like most of the people in the collective, but now that we're getting bigger. Some people help some days, and it's really helpful. For a while, we've only been a few people, and there was a lot of pressure. And now that we're more, I feel it's much more easy. But we have made compromise by not paying the people who are involved in the collectives, and only when we do events, we pay people, and. We wish the festival jobs or the exhibition job would pay, but they don't pay enough. They pay transport and material, and we don't want to put even more pressure, financial pressure, on the collective, because that would take the whole fun out of it. So we make more, I would say, individual compromise to let the collective be, instead of just trying to make it financially like a business. It's not a business, it's an association, and we're here for the pleasure. So in a way it's fun, but there is also money pressure because we need to pay rent or move out soon. But so far we manage.
But I think it's cool. It's also cool for people to see that this is possible. Right, because there's always this idea of, I have to do this job, otherwise I couldn't survive. But there are ways, and I think that's very a valuable thing to show to people. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do we have? I mean, maybe one more thing that I was thinking, right, and that maybe also connects me to my next guests. The thing how you described how you people throw away technology might be still working. It's still working. It's still useful, but. They don't like it anymore, and that makes me think Alessandra has worked a lot with LED pulse, volumes, novelty, and I was already thinking, okay, what will happen with them when they're old, Will we all have like huge LED curtains to play with? But anyway, do we have audience? Phelan has a microphone.
Questions?
Hi.
Really nice talk. How did you find this place? It's really nice.
We arrived here.
Working?
We arrived here 7 years ago. It was actually some collective that were based in Kreuzberg just landed here somehow, and we just drove here with a van, and then little by little got more and more containers. But that was quite random. Actually, the mother of my two co-founders, she was based here, and so we just drove and ended up staying here 7 years. But it was not planned. It was not planned. So it's a private place. It's not given by the city. We have a private landlord, and now there will be a building here. So that's why we have to move. Yeah, it's always been. We always knew we had to leave. So already we're very happy. We've been able to stay 7 years, but yeah, now it's the end. Not the end of us, but the end of here.
Hey, I wanted to ask, since you're gonna move, how long can we enjoy this space, and what are the things that we can enjoy maybe in the summer?
Yeah, for sure.
I saw you're also doing some jam nights, jam events, where people can come and do some visuals or something like that.
Yeah, we're open to anything really now. Now we have to leave by the end of the year, and I think end of September will be the last event. So now we're having concert nights every Thursdays, and closing swap, sewing workshop, also jams are welcome. We really want to enjoy as much as we can, and also you're welcome to contact us and do stuff with us.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
I love the talk. I love your work. I wanted to ask if there's a possibility to see you and Max again at some point, or any one of you. Are you performing? Do you have dates?
No, but we could play here actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will come. Okay.
Closing party, yes, we have a closing party on the 19th of September, 19th of September. So let's make it then.
Okay.
Anyone else? And if a person wanted to do some visuals, could they just approach you?
Yeah, for sure. So we have basically upstairs is our first try building a spaceship. It was not flying good enough, so that's why we built the second one. And inside we have many screens, and yes, feel free to either come with a USB or have something interactive. We can connect a joystick or whatever. Or inside here we've built a dance floor for last New Year's Eve, and there's on top on the ceiling 16 screens, and the same, people can play live. Yes, that's it.
Hi.
Who's speaking?
Hey.
Hi.
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that last year I was in Träume, and I was hating everything. It was really not my kind of thing. And I was working in a catering business. They weren't feeding us. I was hungry and pissed off. And I wasn't following the book. I was just taking a walk, and I landed in your performance and installation, and I was like, wow, that's so fucking cool. That's mind-blowing. So it was a huge win. It was like the only thing that I was like, yes, I'm here for this. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, yeah, there's something very beautiful about what you're doing here, and so again, we're super happy to be here. We're gonna continue after our beloved social break with Ed Rooth, who's the author of an app, Chromatose, and maybe a lot of you will throw away TouchDesigner if you hear his proposition, but maybe not. So I'm very. We can recycle. So, yeah, I'm very curious for that. And after that, we will hear from Alessandra Fabris, who's an audiovisual artist, and also going to show something about her work. So please stay tuned, and see you again here at 9.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back, and we're going to start this round with a little advertising break. And because we run the streaming through my phone, I don't have internet and I cannot show anything of our own stuff, so I thought I use the opportunity to advertise this wonderful event. After Pauline was a bit shy, and this is Space Gig version 1 on the 10th of June. Doors open at 7. Music starts at 8 and the door closes at 11. And I think, see you there.
Yes.
Of course, Node Institute also has wonderful courses. You should all check out our website and see what we have on offer. And the special thing that we're preparing in the background that's going to hit next month and the months after is a series of in-person workshops at the Node Institute. We're going into some uncharted territory. I'm going to do Einführung in das visuelle Programmieren mit TouchDesigner auf Deutsch. And Lynn is going to do, and I cannot say this properly, but she's going to do an introduction in visual programming with TouchDesigner in Arabic. And Dan is going to do an introduction in visual programming in Python. Yeah. His native tongue. And Julio is going to do an introduction in visual programming in Spanish. And I think it's time to bring the bodies back in the room. And so we want to try this. It's going to be limited to 16 people each. And we hope that you're going to like it. And as soon as it's ready, we're going to talk about it more. But now I'm very happy to introduce Ed Rooth, who's coming from a TouchDesigner background, as he disclosed, but he moved on. And so we're very curious what he's going to show us today.
Okay. Hello, thank you for having me. So my name is Ed. Is the sound okay? Yeah. So I also go by Hey Cooley as an artist name for doing music and visuals. And I'm a developer and now an app builder. I've been in the software world for about 20 years, doing different kinds of software and also making music as a hobby and DJing, kind of like bedroom producer style, like probably a lot of people in Berlin, I would guess. And the last 2 years or so, I started building a synthesizer app for iOS. It's called Chromatos. And all the slides that you're going to see here are made with visuals from the app. And yeah, just in the disclaimer, because I'm going to mention just my journey building the app and how it happened. There's no affiliation with any of the things that I mentioned, just my journey and my opinions and the stuff that I found useful along the way. And I'm going to go kind of fast, and we'll have questions at the end. So why am I here? So I want to talk about my journey building my app and how I got into graphics in the first place. So it all started about like 3 or 4 years ago when I was doing music, and I wanted some kind of visual element to go along with my music. And I tried a few different things, but eventually I landed into TouchDesigner and went down the TouchDesigner rabbit hole and kind of got really obsessed with that and real-time graphics. And kind of spent like a year or so like mastering TouchDesigner. Took a course at the Node Institute, learned some stuff there. And TouchDesigner is amazing. It does absolutely everything, as all of you know. But I also wanted something that could be like a little bit more portable that I could bring with me, and something I could use to continue playing with graphics when I didn't have my computer with me. So when I'm waiting at the doctor's office or on the train or something like that. So I kind of wanted to detach myself from the laptop a little bit. So I explored some other options like dedicated hardware, like video synths, and some analog systems, but these were always a bit kind of bulky and expensive and didn't really solve my portability problem so much. And I tried some other apps to see what was available, but nothing really gave me the creative control that I wanted, because I really like the style of TouchDesigner and how you can mix and match different nodes like Legos and come up with unique creative output. So I couldn't find anything that had that capability, so I decided to build my own thing. And the aha moment that I had was kind of when I realized that you can run simple shaders on less powerful hardware and still do pretty cool stuff. And in TouchDesigner and in the Tops world, like everything is kind of shaders all the way through the pipeline. So kind of took some inspiration from that. And I also realized that my iPhone, like the GPU I have, is pretty insane actually. So I don't know if you guys know, but the current iPhone 17 Pro has a GPU that's just as powerful as the M2 on the MacBook from 4 years ago. So it's kind of crazy how the mobile capabilities are catching up to what's available on laptops now. The mobile phones also has support for things like MIDI and HDMI and USB and built-in camera, stuff like that. And the biggest factor is that it's always with me and take it everywhere I go. So that was the main kind of inspiration behind it. So I thought, okay, I'll just build like a shader engine for iOS. And in the process of solving my own problem, like as an engineer, I always think like when I'm solving a problem for myself, like how can I solve it in a general way for everybody? People might find it more useful, or might find it useful and get some use out of it as well. So is this okay? So I tried to build something that's also like simple and approachable, so that people who are maybe don't have the time or the resources to embark on this like steep learning curve for softwares like TouchDesigner or shader coding. Maybe I could engineer like the kind of like the gateway drug to TouchDesigner and real-time graphics. Let me try changing the mic here. Hang on. Okay, can you hear me? It's better? All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Good? Okay, so, and then the other benefit of this is that I was able to kind of replace doom scrolling on my phone with something more creative, which I think is generally a win because less time on social media and more creativity is a good thing in my book. So I built this app called Chromatos. It's a procedural 2D real-time modular video synth for iOS, and I'll just give you like a brief demo of how the app works real quick, just so you can see what I'm talking about for the rest of the talk. So this is the app running in action. Normally you wouldn't see the controls displayed on the external monitor like you do here. I just have screen mirroring turned on just for demonstration purposes. And it's kind of laid out like a little bit like DJ Deck. So on the left and the right side here, you have what I call generators, which are generating patterns. So on the left, we have this grid, and on the right, we have lines. And each of them has parameters you can tweak. And let's see, on the line, if I tap the Y parameter, I can just turn up the rate, and I get modulation going on this. And there's different wave shapes you can choose from. So it's just a quick and easy way to get animation into the system. Also, I have a good friend of mine, Danny, who's helping me test a lot, and he said the lines are too straight, so I made like a stone German knob just for him to like make the lines a little crazy. And then in the mixer is where you can change how they get comped together or the blend modes. And let me add some motion to this one also. And on any of the generators or directly on the mixer, you can always go in and add effects and chain any number of effects. So you can offset the channels, you can add an edge effect, feedback, scale it out. And then I think I have like 14 effects now. Not warp, sorry. I want to go to tunnel is also a fun one. So now we can change the size, we can animate the phase, and now we're flying through the tunnel, and we have pretty cool visual pretty quickly. It's just fast and streamlined workflow. And if you go to the library, like if you spend a little bit more time with things, you can get more interesting results. You can dial things in. What else? Yeah, this is another one. And in the latest version, I have added support for the built-in camera, so you can also see me here, the little wavy effect. So yeah, that's Chromatos. It also does like audio reactivity and MIDI control and stuff like this too. But this is the basic kind of TouchDesigner friendly signal flow diagram for everybody. Probably looks familiar. This is just a mock-up of how everything flows. So the other thing I'd say is when I built this, I was inspired by not only TouchDesigner, but I've been using like Linux command line tools for a very long time, doing functional programming, using modular synthesizers, DAW softwares like Ableton. And there's one kind of principle that I like about all these tools is that they're all using like small composable utilities. So you can have like a simple thing and you can stack them together like Lego blocks and rearrange them. And I think that's a really powerful concept because then you can have infinite possibilities which lead to really unique output. Because that was one of the problems I found with other tools that I tried is they kind of have a bigger scoped thing and then the output always kind of looks similar. So even with this simple diagram, because you can chain everything together, it ends up having quite powerful results. And you know, it's never going to be like a TouchDesigner replacement or something else like for big professional stadium shows. This is just more like my idea to create like a completely different instrument. It's kind of like scoped down. It's a little bit more playful. It's for beginners. And it's also fun because you always have it with you. You can like bring it to a party or a show and just plug it in your phone and then good to go. So when I started to build this, I had to think about like how I was going to do it because I was new to iOS and I hadn't built anything for iOS before. So you know, I wanted to start simple and keep it flexible, focus on 2D only, not do anything with 3D because it's a bit too crazy. And I wanted to, you know, also make sure that it's not too simple because I wanted it to be like a real creative tool, not just a toy. And because it's designed for mobile, it has to be like highly performance optimized and you know, work with battery considerations and stuff. Yeah, and I also intentionally did not put any AI into the program because for me, I think the creative process is where you get the most joy and fulfillment out of using tools like this. So that's intentionally left out. And for the plan for this, I would love to be able to have Chromatos on every platform in the world, but I kind of, you know, it's only me building this as one person, so I had to like limit the scope of what I'm doing because, you know, if I wanted to build for Android, for example, there's like a ton of devices I have to test with and stuff like that, and getting the performance right would be like a big challenge. So just chose iOS, also mostly because I have an iPhone, and I wanted to have like a native feeling user experience, and to keep the performance the way I wanted it. I also didn't include any other frameworks or game engines, so it's just using the Metal APIs from Apple going directly to the GPU, and that's what keeps it fast and performant. And I would also just say that the product itself, like I had a plan for it, but it wasn't like I had a master plan and then just executed it. It was, I started working on it little by little, and at every phase along the way like inspired me to move on to the next step, and it kind of evolved over time. And for the implementation, so iOS apps started out with the programming language to build them with was Objective-C, but that's kind of like the older way. It's been replaced now with a language called Swift, made by Apple. So I chose to use Swift for this project. Also, the system for doing user interface is Apple's native framework called Swift UI, which is built on top of UIKit, which is the old framework, but it's still kind of what Swift UI is built on. So I still have to dive into UIKit a little bit because Swift UI doesn't have all the same features. But that's kind of like the technology is Swift programming language, Swift UI, and then Metal and Metal shaders for all of the graphics. And again, I did this because of performance reasons, and because it's just faster. And coming from a GLSL like background, going to Metal was actually not so difficult because Metal has their own shader language called Metal shader language, and it's pretty much one-to-one mapping. There's a few technical differences with like syntax and stuff, but it's more or less the same. So if you ever wanted to get into something like this, it's not too much of a hurdle to get from GLSL to Metal. The other reason I chose Metal is because GLSL is and OpenGL is actually technically deprecated on Apple platforms, so it'll still work on a lot of apps, but you never know when Apple might just say we're not going to support this anymore. So that's another reason. And the biggest difference, I guess, is just the API for setting up the rendering pipeline is different from other things like OpenGL and DirectX. So that was kind of a challenge, learning how to get all of this working, to get just the basic rendering pipeline set up. Another implementation detail is that because I come from like a background of modular synthesizers and stuff like that, so I wanted to have everything in the system be modulatable so that it would be easy to make generative art with it. So there's no timeline, there's no transport, like every parameter has built-in LFOs and audio reactivity settings that kind of moves forward with every frame render. And challenges with building this is a very difficult and crazy project. If I'd have known how hard this would have been in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have started. But I'm glad that I did, because I learned a lot. I think it came out really well. But I had to learn a lot. Like, that was the biggest challenge, is learning. So everything is self-taught, and I learned from originally, got my start in graphics with TouchDesigner. So a lot of TouchDesigner tutorials also cover like different things with shaders. So that was like a huge help, just getting some of the graphics background. I also found a good course online by this guy called Simon Dev. And that was a good foundational course. Got some Simon Dev fans in the audience. Yeah. And I took a class here at Node Institute with Joseph Peltz. That was also good for compute shaders, and I learned a lot there, which helped me with the built-in video recorder, because you have to do all of this transformation and changing the formats, and compute shaders are the only way to make that work without everything just stalling. So that was cool. But I think the biggest lesson for me and the biggest takeaway, and I think strategy that I would share, is that when I had this idea, like coming new to iOS, I knew there was no way I could like take on a challenging project like this and succeed. So like I had to like first have like a stepping stone to get there. So I was thinking of like, okay, what kind of basic app can I make? So I designed this other app called Breathwork Timer. It's just a simple app. It doesn't do anything with graphics. It's just breathwork routines, and you play back and you practice breathwork with it. But that was a big help, because it helped me get introduced to the ecosystem and the whole process of building and deploying an app and learning all the intricacies along with that, which I had no idea, because there's no way you can know everything. Like, you just have to learn by doing. So that was a big help. And if anybody wants to develop apps, I would highly recommend doing something similar. The other challenge is that Metal is not very beginner friendly at all. You know, all the documentation kind of assumes that you already have a background in DirectX or OpenGL, and all of the tutorials and their sample code from when Metal was first introduced are still written in Objective-C, which is a very complicated mess of a language, which I don't recommend that you learn. So that was challenging, just to absorb all this information given the state of things. But there was one book that I would highly recommend if you want to get into this. It's called Metal by Tutorials, and it's a modern book using Swift, and the authors like walk you through step by step, like how to build a game engine from scratch for Apple platforms. So that's a good resource. Some other challenges were just getting stuff kind of correct in the pipeline, things that maybe we take for granted that already exist in TouchDesigner, like pre-multiplied alpha versus straight alpha, and pixel formats and color spaces and all this kind of stuff, which was a lot of learning by trial and error. And then the other challenge is, you know, just keeping things moving along and being efficient with my workflow. So, you know, the thing that's great about TouchDesigner is when you're working in it, everything's immediate, and it's happening like immediately. But when you start building an app, you have to compile the shaders, you have to compile the app code, you have to have everything links together, it gets deployed to the simulator, and this whole process can take a few minutes sometimes. So that's fine for building the app, but when I'm just prototyping new effects and new generators, I still just do that in TouchDesigner, and I get it kind of mapped out the way I want it, and then I'll map this back over to the shader language code and then bring it into my app. So why would you ever do anything like this if it took me so long and it's crazy hard? Well, you know, I think, you know, back to the point from the previous talk, I think it would be cool if people would build things that would leverage the hardware we already have, because the GPUs we have now are really powerful. And even in older devices, like I have an old iPhone 13 mini that's like 5 years old that still runs 60 frames a second. Most of the patches that I have that come with Chromatos. So we had this running at Superbooth for 3 days straight, nonstop, and otherwise it's just sitting on my desk collecting dust. So I think for here and other art installations, you could also think about using these old devices that are sitting around, not doing anything. Also, building an app can be like like another distribution channel for your artworks, because it is like a computer everyone has that they can interact with. So it could be like, I don't know, you can get creative and like reimagine what an app is. I would not like look at what exists in the App Store and think it has to fit into that mold or that category. You can just look at the APIs and what's possible and kind of reinvent and create a new category for yourself if you want. And the other thing is that just there's a lot of fun capabilities these devices have, stuff I haven't even tapped into yet, like depth sensing cameras and some AI stuff for like voice isolation and augmented reality, virtual reality, stuff like that. And they're all, of course, connected to networks, so you can connect them up to other systems, TouchDesigner, to do streaming stuff. And with Chromatos, I just have like I said, the video recorder, so you could always record videos and bring them back into other things. And if you want to get into mobile development for iOS, I would recommend hackingwithswift.com as like the best starting point. This is a great website with a lot of video tutorials that walk you through everything from the beginning. Other things I learned along the way, so texture reads are the biggest performance hit. So in a system, you always have to minimize how much you're reading. So if you have a shader that's like, you might see some cool shader that's reading like 15 pixels around the current pixel you're working with, and that might work cool like on your laptop, but when you try to bring this to mobile and stack it into an effects chain with other stuff, that's going to be a really big performance hit. So you have to kind of be strategic about what kind of effects you want to have included. Also, allocating textures takes a lot of memory, so you have to think about memory resources. So the solution to this is creating like a dynamic texture pool, so you can reuse existing textures and reuse existing memory. Another thing for me is to automate a lot of the boilerplate code. So in the app, the whole parameter system is like a generic system. So I don't have to rewrite how a parameter works every single time I build a new effect. I just say, I declare that I want a parameter, it's called this, it has this default value, this min, this max, and everything just gets wired up automatically and gets laid out in the user interface automatically, which helps to build everything faster. And then I think the last thing is just whenever you're doing anything, I think especially software, it helps to get user feedback and get people in the loop using it as quickly as possible. So I had, since the first day I had my feedback effect working, I had my friends testing it and getting feedback and feedback on the feedback. And it's just nice to have people using it, because then you start getting feedback and ideas, that stuff maybe you didn't think about, and then that helps steer the direction of where it can go next. So and I think, I always loved technology and digital art and stuff like this, and making art is really fun, but I learned like making a tool that helps people to make art is also really rewarding, because then you end up seeing something someone posts, some person you never met made something with a tool that you created, and it's something you never expected, and it's also really rewarding. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I just want to say thank you also to the TouchDesigner creators and community, because that was kind of my entry point into computer graphics. So I appreciate the work everyone here is doing, because a lot of you making tutorial videos and stuff like that, and that's kind of what got me on this path. So thank you.
Very nice insight in a strange world. Yeah, I think you answered that question already. So you use TouchDesigner to prototype things and sketch them out.
Yeah.
I was wondering. And the other thing I was wondering, I didn't quite get that fully, is when I use the app, I work with the presets that you already have, and then I can modulate and combine and so on. But is there also a way I can, input, or How is the creative process?
So I can show you here. I can create a new patch, and then I can start out with just one generator, which is either lines or shapes or a grid, and then you just kind of start by taking these kind of pre-made things, and then you can start to mix and match them, and then start adding the effects. But so the generators are all kind of defined as something that I created, but and it comes with some factory presets, but it kind of encourages you to build stuff from scratch. So you start with kind of basic building blocks like lines and shapes, and then you might end up with something more complex, like something like this, for example.
But I mean, I'm really far away from writing shaders, but if I were a shader person, could I get my own code in there, or is that not really the idea?
A lot of people have asked for this, actually, and I specifically decided not to do that because number one, there are quite a lot of apps that let you do that already, and they do it well, and I don't feel like I need to make my app do everything. For me, like a big important part of it is the user experience and making sure it's easy to use and approachable. And I think if you get a thing where you let people import shaders and you have to convert the shader from GLSL to MSL, and then all the different compilation errors and stuff that can go wrong, like I think that kind of kills the experience.
It kind of defies the idea of the instrument that is the instrument.
Yeah.
I get that. Do we have questions? Let me see. I think feeling is coming with the X.
It's connected, but it's not. No, so maybe I can just ask loudly. The stream.
Nice.
I know. Hand should be working. Okay, let's switch this way then. How many mics do you need to ask a question? No, I think my main question is this a paid app or is this a free app? And if it's a free app, is it open source? Because this would be one way to bring in new shaders. Or is there maybe at least like a repository to be able to propose / commit new shaders for the system?
Yeah, so the first question, so it was important for me in the beginning to have this be have a generous free version as well. So you can basically do anything in the app, like all the features are unlocked. The only restriction with the free version is you can only save 2 things. So you can test everything and have quite a lot of fun with it, and you can always delete one of the 2 and start over again and make something new. And there's no ads or anything like that, so that's kind of my personal feeling about how I wanted to do it. I don't ever want to have ads or collect or sell data and anything like that, but there is a paid version. If you want to unlock the full potential, it's like $5.99 a month or $50 per year. And it's not open source. I'm trying to make it as the reason for that is because I'm just trying to make it as a project that can sustain itself, and that it's, what I've learned is like, I don't think you can ever get rich making creative software that you sell to consumers. Like if I'm making like a product to sell to businesses that save them money or something like that, that might make a lot more money, but I just want to have it where it can self-sustain like my ability to work on it full time. So yeah, that's why.
Fair. I think over there.
Hey, cool project.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the presentation. I was curious, like you showed a couple of looks, and you mentioned like a DJ deck kind of theme going.
Yeah.
Can you transition from one look to another if you want to do kind of like a VJ set with it, or like like a longer performance?
Right. That's actually what I'm working on for the next version, which right now it's version 1.3, so 1.4 should have that. It's in the new performance mode. Yeah, right now you just have 8 macro knobs that you can use to map to any number of parameters, and you can move those. But being able to launch new patches from like a MIDI controller, for example, it's coming next. Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
hello. First of all, it's a really cool app. I already downloaded like a few time back and like recently, not so long ago.
Cool,
And
thank
it's
you.
super fun.
Thank you.
And it is indeed feels like an instrument, and it reminded me pretty much of like the analog visual synthesizers. But I had a questions about like if a person wants to perform with the chromatos, it has to be through chromatos, or will there be like a communication protocol possible to send NDI or spout or such a thing to a VJing app, like Resolume or such a thing?
Yeah. This was actually like one of the most highly requested features, and I actually implemented NDI and I had it working. But then I read in the really, really small print, not on the website, but in the PDF that you download, it says you're not allowed to distribute the SDK from NDI without talking to them first to get a license. So I talked to them, and they wanted a lot of money, so I had to cut that feature. So I'm sorry, but I'm looking into another technology called Open Media Protocol, I think. And it's basically the same thing, but it's free and open source and nobody in the middle taking money. So I'm trying to be the new champion for this protocol and get that everyone using that. I don't know if TouchDesigner has it yet, but that's the story there.
Okay. Well, all the best, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Sasha, yeah.
Thank you so much for the talk. Have other people made anything with this app that surprised you?
Oh yeah, good question. I think the weirdest, wackiest thing that someone made is there was a guy sent me a message on Instagram. He said that he got a gift certificate to make a custom rug at a rug factory. So he designed his rug using Chromatos, and that was pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, there's people doing all kinds of wacky stuff with it I never imagined, so it's fun. If you want to see a photo of it, I can show you guys later. Just come see me. And I also have lots of cool stickers too, and if anyone has other questions, you can talk to me after and give you stickers.
I have a question also. Again, also really impressive stuff. But like, what is your plan with this for the future? Like we heard you're doing the performance mode, you're working on the NDI alternative. What other features can we expect from Chromatos in the coming versions, years, decades, hopefully?
Yeah, so I have a whole roadmap laid out still of another year or two worth of work I want to do before I call it like feature complete for the main product that I want to do. So I consider it now as like a soft release, early release. What I really want is a better performance mode, like I heard earlier, switching between patches with MIDI, more fleshed out control with MIDI, like connecting with other systems like Ableton Link, for example. I'm going to keep adding more generators and effects. High resolution, like Apple ProRes video recording output for people that want to take the recordings and then bring them into other editing softwares. Yeah, then I think the biggest two things would be synchronizing your library through iCloud so it syncs through all your devices, making a macOS version, and eventually I want to do like cloud storage as well so people can save their patches to the cloud. So in the app right now, you can already take a patch and you can export it and send it to somebody else that has the app. They can open it and they can start to remix it, and you can go back and forth and have fun like that. But to have this go through the internet, through the cloud, I think would just be really cool, because then you could have like leaderboards and see all the stuff that people are making and follow people and stuff like that.
I was wondering a bit also after what we've seen from Pauline, where all these scanned images gave the special texture. Do you have the ability to import images, or did you, in the sense of memory management, maybe say no to that?
No, you can do it. There's a feature here. We can just so instead of lines, I can just go to photo and tap photo, and then it brings up the photo library, and I can load in my rabbit friend. Yeah. And the best thing is if you take this levels effect, you can modulate the hue, and then now
Sold.
Audio input? Yeah, so you first have to go into the settings here, and then you go to the audio engine, enable this, and this will work either with a connected audio interface through USB, or now it's working through the microphone of the device. And I can adjust the gain here and the threshold for like when I want it to kick in and kick and not. And then I can just go onto the scale parameter here, for example, and I can change the audio source. So this is really crazy right now. So we want to turn the depth down, so then we only have it going a little bit, and maybe the sensitivity down a little. And then I can turn the slew up to make it a little bit more smooth when I talk. Yeah, and then there's also a low-pass signal and a high-pass signal if you only want the lows or the highs. And that's how that works, but so there's two different types. There's the follow mode, which is doing now, or you can do an envelope-based one, and that's where the threshold comes into play. So it will only trigger when it hits the threshold, and then it goes through this attack decay envelope. Yeah. We need more feedback, though. Always more feedback.
Yeah, this looks very well thought through. Also, this how to modulate audio with these few parameters, but really.
Yeah, I mean, it's only because I've had experience with these tools, and I've had the background that I've had with different synthesizers and stuff. I was able to fully understand it and know how to build it in the right way to make sense. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much for sharing with us and
thank you
coming. And
thank you very much.
I think we're all keen to try it. I think we are heading into our social break. Have a cold drink, and then we're gonna return with Alessandra Fabris. Alex is fine. Okay. So please stay tuned and see you at 10. So, and we're also gonna have exciting community announcements which you don't want to miss. So you really have to stay to the end. And the end is not the end, because there might be an after party. So wait it out. And here we are again, and yeah, I've lost my place. It's Function Store. Function Store has a community announcement. Please, Dan.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Dan. Maybe you've seen this thing pop up on your Instagram feed or such. Yeah, I wanna go, yeah, like this. So, this is a website I built over this past few months, and just want to talk shortly about it. So basically, freelancers know this problem that it's so hard to know how much you can charge for a certain project. It's always going to be different for certain situations, for certain people. Maybe for a friend of yours, you do something for cheaper. Maybe for a bigger client, you do something for cheaper again to get future projects and such. So it's never a simple answer. And I've been asked this question many times. And also talking to Linda a lot about these kind of issues and kind of wage equality and this kind of unionizing and all these kind of things led to this, basically, this website, which is called Value Ladder, very apt. So the idea here is that anybody can submit projects to this website. They can give all the details of their past projects, the type of project, so maybe it was a collaboration or like a consultation, whatever type of client. I will not go through everything here, but yeah, we reach to, of course, the most important question is how much you earned on a project, how many days you worked, how were you paid, was this your standard pricing, because this is something we deal with a lot, that you do something underpriced or overpriced or maybe standard, so you can give what your normal rate would have been, because all this information is really useful. And one of the most important information here is the description of the project, because you just need to give context, and context matters a lot in this. Everything is anonymized, so nothing of personal information is stored. An AI like an LLM pass goes through your description, removes any brand names or festival names or whatever that could identify anybody. I'm not collecting anything into the database. You can ask for a private edit link because I'm not storing anything. There's no users. The only way that you can edit a past submission is through having an email link, but then I immediately delete your email from the database. So there's no connection between submission and email, really. And everything is open source, by the way. So on the bottom you can find a little GitHub open source thing here, so you can check everything. And then you submit something, and it goes into the database. You can check the database. Sort in all kinds of different ways, and I don't know, let's open just one random. So this is 45K, that's good. This asks for a mail, what is this called? Email list, if you want to get on that. I will not spam you. And then you can check out, there's a little description here, interactive installation for 4-day cooperative and United States. Yeah, that's where the big stacks are, unfortunately. That's basically it. You can browse through this. The cool thing is that we can now make some fancy graphs and analytics. So you can check this out. Currently we have 145 projects, and I hope this goes up and up. So if you have any past projects, please give the community the gift of submitting some of those here, because through this we can all kind of get more together and have a better wage, let's say, or like better price for our projects. We are not in the blind. Yeah, you can check out the analytics. You can do this at home. If you click on any of the things here, it brings you also to the database, or it should bring you to the database, and filter with that, but it does not. Okay. Yeah. So I clicked on LED mapping, and it brought me to the database and filters all the LED mapping projects. So you can do that. And then the end goal is to have an estimation algorithm. So basically, if you have a project coming up, you would input the upcoming project's details, and through the past database submissions and some LLM inference or whatever you want to call it, magic, you would get like a range of price that the algorithm thinks you should or you could ask for. Of course, nothing here is a given. Everything is, community submitted, and there's no guarantees. But then what we can also do after this is, if you get the project, you can feed back that information to the system, so to see how right or how good the algorithm was in suggesting you the price. And yeah, that's about it. valueladder.com. There's a QR code. You can check it out like this. As I said, this is open source, but if you want to support the project, on the bottom of the page you will find my Patreon link. I have an open source tier for €3 per month, and that helps a lot for future developments. I'm planning to hopefully maybe extend this to other industries as well. So if you have any ideas around that, get in touch, or if you have feedback, there's the GitHub link to do issues and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you. Oh yeah, sorry. I wanted to say also just that this place is very special to me, because there's so many good memories attached to this place. So, and Stav, my friend, will talk about it later, another guest. But yeah, I just want to thank Kollage Kollectiv for all the memories here.
Thank you, Dan, not only for sharing this, but for the whole initiative, and also for putting the word unionizing in this context. I think unionizing would be really helpful, because if shit goes down the drain, the general strike is the only thing that can save us. And at the moment, I don't see how we all would engage in a general strike when the time is ripe. But the countdown counts. Anyway, thank you very much, Dan. And now it's a big pleasure to welcome Alex to this table. And we're very curious to hear what you're cooking.
Okay. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for everyone for sticking around. I know it's late and it's a Thursday night, so yeah, some people have to work. But yeah, my name is Alex, and I am a graphic designer and UX UI designer, and I'm also a VJ and creative technologist. And I mainly work in real-time visual system for live music and art installations. And basically my practice is kind of like inhabiting these two places, identity systems and real-time visual systems. And they are kind of like two different type of words, but they kind of answer to the same question. It's like, how do you give something a visual forms that it feels true to the identity and the concept of what it is? So a little bit of my background. As I said, I started as a graphic designer. So basically identity systems, which is commonly known as branding, and also layouts, grids, typography is kind of my bread and butter. So all of these like very structured side of visual communication. But also, as you can see, I operate a lot in live performances. I approached TouchDesigner for the first time in 2021 when I was doing my bachelor back home in Milan. And there was a course that was called Computer Art, and they simply introduced us to this software. And I was first very scared, because I don't come from a development background. I come from design, so it was like adapting my workflow to something that was really different. But I was very amazed by how flexible it is, how you can create different workflows, you can create like your own interface inside of it. And also the concept of generative art, it was new for me. And I was fascinated by it, because I felt that it was kind of a way to just like give life to my projects and create like always evolving systems. So I started integrating it inside of my graphic design projects, but slowly I just like switched and TouchDesigner became my main tool of interest, let's say. And yeah, as I said, nowadays I'm working mainly in live performances, and I want to make a differentiation here between scripted performances and real-time VJ sets. I brought a couple of examples. Is it okay with the audio? Is it fine? Okay. Okay. I brought Organismo as an example of scripted performances. It's a project I've been working on for the past year. It's basically the artistic project of a company called LED Pulse, and LED Pulse produces LED volumetric. Can you hear me? Okay. Produces these LED volumetric technologies, and as you can see, very different from a screen, not only because you're adding a third dimension to the space, but also because it's a digital entity that has a physical presence that shares it with the audience, and is also able to not only to change the space, but also we're working on this machine, we call it the U machine, in a way that is also able to perceive the people and the space around it and work in different environments. In Mahalla, we had this residency for 6 months, and we were basically investigating how this U machine can work in a performative environment. So, as I said, it was a scripted performance. It was very different because it had a narrative arc, and when you execute scripted performance, it's important that like you are absolutely precise, because there is scenes to be respected, there is performers, there is cues, there is, in this production there was like a lot that was considered at all time, but also as a live performer you always know what is coming next. For me, it was always a very kind of emotional state to like be in this environment, because I knew when the show was building up, when like the music was rising and everything, and it was like a very corporeal experience for me. And yeah, and basically, as I said, it's the whole concept, it's how machine and human can co-create together. And this performance is kind of a ritual of this relationship, and it's not just like human using the machine or machines replacing human, but it's like a third space where these two things are in contact. In fact, that's me. As a visual performer, everything was played live. We could have just like made a pre-recorded video and just like hit play and that's done. But it was not our concept. We required the presence of someone that was like absorbing the energy of the space, the energy of the music, and just like reacting to it live. And I'm not gonna focus on this too much, but especially on the technical side of it. But if you have any questions later, or also you can follow Organismo on their channels, because we do workshops every now and then. And that's a good occasion to just have like a hands-on experience with the machine. But as I said, I'm going to talk about a little bit more VJ sets. That's mainly what I do nowadays. And while Organismo, it's kind of a ritual. It's something that we perform and we know where it's going. VJing is kind of like the opposite, because you know the territory you're working in, but you don't know the path that you're gonna go through. And in Berlin, I worked with different type of artists, with DJs, but also with sound artists, and like very different genres. And each performance requires kind of a different visual language, a different energy, a different way of reading the room. And what they all share is that there is not really a fixed plan. So in this case, for me, like a VJ set is like this balance between a perfect preparation, like researching about the artist, building the content, mapping the sound frequencies, but also being able to perform, being able to improv whatever happens. So because basically you're not just like reacting to the music, you're reading the artist's body, you are reading the crowd, and you're just like making decisions on the go. And what these two things share in common is kind of like the question of like all my research, that it's like on the base of all the sets that I always done. It's what sounds look like, and I know it's kind of a weird question, but I wrote my master thesis on it, which is available nowhere. So I'm just gonna go through a few points, a few important points with you guys. But basically, I crafted my own method that I called extended listening. This is like kind of a method of perception that takes listening not only as a passive act, but just more analytical and more like considering all the components of sound. And it's divided in 3 steps. It's listening, mapping, and performing. And as I said, listening, it's an analytical type of action. In this case, you can consider the frequencies of sound, where does the energy of sound live, like what it means, like low, mid, high, what's different emotional weight to carry, but also the materiality of the sound. What is the sound made of? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it grainy? Is it fragile? It's like the physical quality of a sound. Then rhythm and density, like where are the peaks, where are the silences, where is the moment of tension and release, and how these can become like sync points for you making visuals. And also interfaces are really interesting to consider, because the artists that a musician use, sometimes they already like carry an aesthetic information that you can use to just translate the visual experience, the sound experience, into something visual. And then associations, it's the most important part. It's what does a sound evoke, the images, the memories, the cultural references that they carry, and how they help you shape a visual world that is completely related to sound. So the second step is the map, which is defining the visual world. So choosing the colors, the aesthetics, the visual grammar, and answering to the question, what does sound look like? And one thing that is always good to remember is that you're building a toolkit. It's not a sequence, it's not a fixed narrative, it's an instrument you have to play with. So it needs to give you like a little bit of room for improvisation. Then also identify the sync points, like what sonic events can trigger visual responses. Is it a kick, is it a snare, or any other kind of frequencies? And last but not least, to build the correspondences, like how the properties of sound can influence your visuals in real time. This can happen, for example, in TouchDesigner. And last but not least, performing. Always remember that you are inside of a feedback loop somehow, and you have to be able to read the room, to be able to interpret the crowd, the artist, the space. They all become like co-authors of the performance. And also always to build peaks, valleys, and because not every moment needs to be eventful. You don't have to give it 100% all the time. It's good to have some release, because like silence is still part of the composition. And one of my biggest advice is always like to embrace any mistake you're gonna do, because things go wrong, it happens. But what I learned is that maybe I'm triggering like a visual that I was not planning to use, and instead of like having this moment that is just like disruptive and it's like, you just like repeat it deliberately until it looks intentional. And more on the technical side, this is the equipment that I always use. It's kind of basic, I would have to say, but I think that it gives you like a lot of freedom at the same time. So of course, laptop with TouchDesigner running, a sound card that I normally use to connect the sound master to my computer so I can get the real-time data of the sound, and a MIDI controller. Except for the computer, these two are kind of cheap. One is Akai MIDI Mix, which is like around 90 euros, and the other one is a Focusrite Scarlett, which I don't remember how much it is because I always ask it around. I don't own one, but soon I will. And yeah, and now let's take a look in more like the patch. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, this is kind of a crazy patch. I wanted to bring it to you guys because this is, what time is it? Do we have time? Are we good? Okay. This is a set that I did back in April for a party, and they asked me to perform for 6 hours. And I was like, nah, like, I'm not gonna perform live for 6 hours. I'm sorry, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, but 6 hours, no. So basically, I created this patch that gave me some freedom to perform live whenever I wanted to, but also if I just wanted to leave the station, like spend some time with my friends, it was just like running in the background, like without me doing anything. And wait. So basically, you see here that like everything is mapped in my MIDI, and I normally never use the interface itself. I just have this little UI that I made for myself. And it's basically, you can see here, there is a timer that tells me how long I've been in the set. And here I have the audio channels, so I can see if they're correct, if they can be tweaked a little. The main audio source, so whenever there is like some problems, I can just like go up or go down. But also I mapped every single channel, at least with the high, mids, and lows. So if I have something that's, I don't know, there is a moment in which like the mids are very important, I just can like tweak it more. For example, here. And yeah. But then inside the patch, as I said, I love TouchDesigner because it's kind of like your own flexible interface. You can do whatever you want with it. And I mean, what is important for me, it's just start from the foundation, like huge advice. I hope everybody's following this, but like for the resolution, always like have a constant. So if you go to a venue and they say, no, the resolution is different, you just change it here and it's going to be easy and you don't have to enter in every single network and change it. And then here, as I said, I have my visualizer that I built so I can see the sound and how it's behaving. Also, I already have a component where I mapped my MIDI that I just keep here in my palette, my components, and I just like drag and drop and every time I do a new set. And basically it's just like I separated and renamed all the buttons, all the knobs, all the sliders, and also I mapped the values because normally it goes from 0 to 127, I think, and now it's just from 0 to 1, so it's just flexible for the whole network. And then, as I said, it's connected to the sound. You can see here inside, I'm using an audio analysis, kind of basic, but I know there is better ways, but this for me kind of works. But as I said, like here, you can see how I can just like change and like makes it way more flexible for me. And yeah, you can already see that there is a lot of referencing going on here because the whole set, it can be done like without me being there. It's just like going with the music. Like you can just change a little bit and go to other visuals. Also there is like layers with logos and everything. It was like not corporate, it was kind of like a creative. Here you can see these are all the visuals, and normally for VJing, like I always do the comparison with Resolume Arena, which is like more user-friendly compared to TouchDesigner. But in here, I just like have all the visuals like inside of. I can control them with my sliders and just switch from one visual to the other. And also, I created these scripts where just basically whenever like one slider is different from 0, all the other ones are not going to cook, only the one that it's different from 0, so my FPS is really high all the time. Then we go through some visual effects. Here I have some glitches. I guess I have some glitches. Also, I didn't use these for a very long time, so I don't remember where things are. Knob 10. Should be here. Okay, it's not working. Whatever. But yeah, you can put some VFX. I normally work with a lot of glitches that you can see maybe here if I zoom in. Then I have 2 separate color palettes, because being a graphic designer, like I'm very, very like careful about my color palettes. I'm just like super precise about it. But you can see that also these are sound reactive, and also the effects are sound reactive. And then there is a second layer, which is a layer of just different type of like edges and stuff. And let's see if I can change this. Yeah. Yeah, again, this is a very old patch, so I don't remember what I put what. But it's kind of this. And then again here I have color palettes for the edges. Here I think. And yeah, and then I have a strobe, which is not working. But yeah, that's basically it. As I said, this patch, it was made so I can just and not do anything. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Alessandra.
Thank you.
I really like how the lines flow in the big picture of the...
Yeah.
It's very beautiful traffic happening there.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, also how you pointed out the difference between the scripted show and the VJing, and how the scripted show gives you these moments of excitement where VJing you might just want to take a break sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, also when you VJ, you kind of have to always be very receptive to whatever is going on, because you don't know. So you always have to have like an extra level of attention, and can be exhausting. Like after 1 or 2 hours, I'm enough, like I want to leave.
Yeah, I mean, in the old times we had these like 8-hour sets. And you see the DJs changing, taking the money, taking the money, and you're like,
one visual artist.
Here's your free drink. Let's go for the next 3 hours. But this is changing. Also, thank you to Value Ladder. And so, are you now still moving with the Organismo? So I think you've been in South America recently.
Yeah, we've been to Brazil for Innovation Week, and actually right now we're kind of bringing the concept of the new machine a little bit forward. Before it was mainly a performative environment. Right now we're focusing more on like big scale installations. We're gonna do sonar in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we're building kind of a perception system where there is some cameras which we call perception nodes, and they kind of just have like data of all the environment, and they are receptive of what's going on in the space. And we're basically training the machine to reacting to the behavior of the people in a way that, as this set, it's just like independent. It can make its own choice according to whatever input we give them, of course, because there is always a human input to it. But yeah, it's big project. It's very big scale. I don't know if anyone have been to Mahala. Like, take Mahala, make it bigger.
Okay.
So yeah, we're excited, but also worried. Yeah.
I can imagine. Good luck with that. Do we have comments, questions from the audience coming up?
I love your visuals. I think they're so beautiful. I wanted to ask, because I saw you at Mahala, and you do everything, like the UI is just showing the audio here. And I know in Mahala, you just do it, you just know where stuff is. I'm fascinated by this. So do you never have an UI where you know what fader does what, or are you putting like tape there to...
It's completely tapeless. I used to tape them, but didn't make any sense. Like specifically for Mahala, we didn't even have a screen. We just had a MIDI, and I just remember where everything was.
That was so crazy. By
Yeah,
the way.
it was. It really was.
Because you had several banks as well, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I was following a narrative, I would say that was helping a lot, because it was kind of like an order. I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I knew what I was, and I knew what was next. So that was helping a lot. But yeah, it's like when you work in scripted performances, you kind of have to remember the whole performance, like every single detail, what is moving, what is going on with the sound, what is going on with the performers. And also you repeat it many times, so at a certain point you just like assimilate it.
Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So hey, hi Alex.
Hi.
You have been like a really inspiring senior to us. So we are a bunch of university people here, and the way you have made this, it's really intricate and it's very complicated. I have ADHD, and when I work with TouchDesigner, I think everyone has their own way of working with TouchDesigner and like connecting these notes. The way you connected it, it's very interesting. It shows me that maybe like one of my friend who has autism, and so like people who are having this different disorders, and I'm like a huge part of neurodivergent community, and everyone uses this TouchDesigner, and they have a very interesting way to connect the nodes, and this is very interesting. It's like okay, and I really appreciate the team of Organismo, even Kunal sitting back there. I really appreciate you guys. You have done. I've been there at Mahala. I hope if you guys have missed Organismo, it was like for maybe like 3-4 months. I was there like 4 or 5 times. I helped around sometime, and it's really inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey, hello. I just know TouchDesigner only today, so
Welcome.
I'm a musician.
We were waiting for you.
Yes, and my question is, did you try to connect AI real-time music to this tool?
Not in this type of performances specifically, but in our work with Organismo, we do a lot of AI. Like, for example, in the project that I mentioned before, there is like a huge component of AI, because yes, we're dealing with like people, but like how do you interpret the data of the people? How can you have the machine like responding? Because okay, maybe there is a person that is just lying down, and the machine is like, okay, it's just lying down, and the part of AI is like, okay, what it means for them to be lying down, like how can I respond, like how can I wake them up, for example.
I just have a lot of ideas. I mean, which type of sensors did you use for AI that analyze the people?
Kunal?
Okay,
Exactly.
okay. Then let's see each other on a sonar.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, I also really like your style.
Thank
I
you.
was wondering if you could tell us a little bit, like when you do this performances or VJ sets with different musicians, sometimes techno, sometimes more experimental, like how do you approach like creating the content for each one? Like you explained this one a little bit with the client, but like when you have maybe more freedom or a creative process with another artist you're collaborating with, how do you approach that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of lucky that all the people I collaborated with gave me a lot of freedom, like even for this event. For me, it's more being able to understand the context you're working in. Like, for example, a DJ set with techno will never be the same type of environment as an ambient DJ set. So you kind of have to mirror like the atmosphere that is going to be created with the music. It's really hard to just like say how like a sound like looks like in my head, but the thing, it also sounds weird to say, but the thing is, what I normally don't like with VJ sets is like when people try to kind of force a narrative to the audience, because at the end of the day, we all have like a very personal experience of music. We like just like feel it like corporally and everything. So whatever I do, I just try to analyze, yes, the environment of like the genre, like how it developed, like the type of like imagery that it's related to it. But also I always try to keep it in a way that is like not too forced, a little bit more abstract, so that people can still have their own personal relationship with the set. And yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Any more? Dave?
Thank you so much for this amazing talk and all the insights. And I saw your work at Mahala, and it was really impressive.
Thank you.
And I am wondering, how, like, do you have like a big team, or do you work? Oh, sorry, do you work by yourself, or like also like for the corporate partners? Like, how do you partner up, and how do you team up with other artists?
We, for what it concerns Organismo, we are a team of people. As we said, Kunal is one of them. We are kind of a small team with big dreams, very big. So, I mean, yes, like I think it requires like a lot of passion to it, because it's like a lot of things to consider to have like such a production, but also to be working with like such like sophisticated machines, because everybody knows that everything fails when it doesn't need to fail. And so yes, we are a team. We are all like, everybody has their own expertise, let's say, but we still like just put everything on the same level together. And we are working with Danilo Grande, which is one of the co-founders of the company. And he's basically, let's say, the director of the company and the projects and everything. And it's also the one that just like receives projects and like gives us these opportunities to travel, to go to Brazil, to go to Sonar. And as it concerns like my own like personal practice, it's just like, it's amazing to be in such a creative city like Berlin, because everybody does something and everybody remembers that everybody does something. So like I have so many friendships that like started as collaborations, and we just like, they were like, oh, I like what you do, oh, I like what you do too, oh, let's do something together. So like Berlin is a blessing. So just like, I would say like just get out of and like go anywhere and just like meet people, because everybody's going to remember what you do. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Maybe I'd like to take this moment to thank a few people. First of you, thank you for these insights. It was very inspiring. I also would like to thank Kunal. We heard the name now a couple of times. He's taking care of the stream today. And Phelan, who was, as you've witnessed, restlessly trying to get the audio to a good place. And also Lynn, who's generally helping and also provided the soundtrack for the Roundtable, and will also be playing a bit of music after this. And of course Sophia and also Julio have been very helpful in setting this up. Kollage Kollectiv, of course, for hosting us.
Woo!
It's been very special. You have a very special place here. Thank you very much for letting us share this. And now to a community announcement we've all been waiting for. Steph, please. Can we have a microphone for Steph?
Hello friends, my name is Tav, and I'm one of the co-founders of Berlin New Media Week. Berlin New Media Week is a new media art festival we started last year with my co-founder Harshini. We ran the first version. Camera? Where's the camera?
This is perfect.
Here? Where do I look? Where do I look? I can sit, okay. It's a TV production, okay. All right, so where was I? Berlin Media Week, yes. We ran the first version last year. It just so happens to be 1 week before Art Week, which is a huge coincidence. And what we set out to do was create an equivalent for Berlin Art Week in Berlin, but focused on new media art and digital art. And I wanted to announce in front of the community that we're going to do a second version this year. Yes, thank you. The reason I'm explicitly mentioning this in front of everyone here is because last year, so many digital and new media artists from Berlin did not apply to Berlin New Media Week. And we got so many international applications, and we started this because there's so many things and so many people doing insane things in Berlin, and we want to show that. That's why it's called Berlin New Media Week and not World New Media Week. So this year, we really want to focus on Berlin-based artists, so please submit your applications when the open call goes out. Berlin New Media Week is not a clique. Very few people get invited. Almost 90% of the people who performed last year went through open call. We apply the best criteria we can to the applications, so we're looking forward to your applications when we open the call in a few weeks. A few more things. Now that we've announced everything, I wanted to say the fact that Berlin New Media Week exists originates back to both Kollage Kollectiv in a weird way and the Node Institute. The Node Institute because we all started... why is this doing? We all started with the Real Studio with Dan, who spoke before, and Karim. And one of the first things we did is we were, like hacking things in our bedrooms in TouchDesigner, and nobody was inviting us anywhere to show our work. It was just on the screen, and we were like, we have to get together, and if we want to show the world, we have to do it ourselves. So the first thing we did is we worked with Kollage Kollectiv, and we did an event 4 years ago, I think, called Symbiotism, where the purpose was we're gonna invite Berliners for a rave, which we know they love, and we will surprise them with our art when they get here. And this worked great. It was sold out, actually. So people came to a rave and they saw our interactive installations and projections and whatnot. And the fact that we all got together is because of the Node Institute, actually.
Should we get people in here
thank you,
now?
Pauline. Thank you, Node Institute. And a little bit of a plug. Tomorrow we have an open studio at Monopol. It's called Art. It's called BAM. It's like an affordable art market, and we so happen to have an open studio. You're welcome to bring your patches too, maybe. Yeah, you can bring your patches too. We'll be showing our work as well. We have cool equipment that you can try out. So. Tomorrow from 5 p.m. Right, okay. Yes, 5 p.m. at Monopol. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steph. That's exciting news. And I have to say, I was also at the Symbiotism. It was the first time I was here. And it felt so nice because already at the entrance, I knew people and it felt like coming home. Yeah. Okay. Full circle. This evening comes to an end, but not really, because you're all invited to join in this container, the claustrophobic container, where Lynn Maya is going to play a bit of music for us, and we can all rave. Because we all have to work tomorrow, so let's seize the day. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to the hosts. See you soon again, hopefully.